Hello and welcome to our today's session. This is the recap session for those who missed the last class, whereby we were discussing the loops in Python and specifically the for loop and the while loop. So if you can remember this example that we were using the other time, this was the control flow in Python, whereby we were trying to see how we can implement the hospital system. And once someone gets to the hospital, they will ask their information, and the system will find out if it is their first time or not visiting the hospital, and then those other decisions were made whether they are supposed to go to the lab or they are just given medicine. So sometimes you may need to now this was applicable to a single person visiting the hospital, but sometimes you may need to do something like to the all patients that you have in the system. For example, maybe you have a medical camp and you want to invite all the patients that have ever come to your hospital. So for you to do that, you will need to send the message repeatedly to each and every one of them, the same message. And as we said while we were discussing list, we can use the list for that. So for us to send to individual patient from the list, we are going to use the for loop. We are going to use a loop so that we go repeatedly. Like we had the list of patients from patient 1, patient 2, all the way to maybe 1,000 patients. So this is a list of patients. So what we do, we implement a function to send a message, then we do it repeatedly on each and every patient. So we send the message, the first one, we check if there are still other patients. If they are still, we send also to the next one, we send also to the other one till the end. So we can use a loop. And in Python we have different types of loops, and last week we was trying to understand the for loop and the while loop. So in for loop, this is the syntax. This is the syntax for the for loop. So we'll have for I in sequence, in sequence. Then we have the block of code that we are supposed to execute. So you'll have this is the syntax. Like you have the keyword here, which is the for in this case. This is the keyword, and this I here is the variable. Some other languages will call it identifier. So this is the variable that will represent individual item in the list. Like when you are looping it for the first time, I will represent this patient. When you are looping it for the second time, it will represent, I will shift to the second one. When you are doing it for the third time, all the way to the last. So that will be a variable representing the item in the sequence. So it can be a list, it can be tuple, it can be even list of dictionaries, and we'll focus on list for now because we've not covered much on tuples. So let's see how we can implement it. So assuming you have these students and we want to do something, want to send each and every one of them a message, we are going to traverse through this list using the loop. So for example, you realize that I wrote their names in lowercase and you want to capitalize them. You can remember the string function, because this is a list of strings. These names are strings. So you can just send the message to each and every one of them using the for loop. So and so as you can see, because I'm using the Google Colab, it automates for you. So like this is a variable for student in students, you can print. So I just tap to accept whatever they were giving us, or else I will have given my own variable here. So as you can see, when I hover over this, it tells me that this is a variable, and this is a list. So that is a list of students. So if we can print, you can see this is the list of students. We've printed each and every one of them. Now suppose we want to change it to capitalize, to have each name starting with uppercase. So we'll just do something like this. Is the block of code that you are referring to here. So for I in sequence, you do something here. Just note that just note the indentation. This space here has been left so that this for loop will be applicable to, like, whatever we are going to do here will be part of the code for the for loop. In other languages, we add the curly braces, like it will be for this one. Then we add the curly brace representing or telling us where the codes end. But for Python, we just use the indentation. So if we want to do something, maybe change the case, then we'll have each student, and then if you use dot, as you can see, these are the functions, because each item is a string, so you can use the string function. And for us to have a list of capitalized or the students with the correct name, we can say the modified students. We can have an empty list. Like that. Then whenever we are traversing through this list, we can now update this list with the student that has been modified. So you can say here, modified list, you append student. So we are using the append method, the one that we learn in list. And let's see. So remember, we are printing here the student. So if we print the modified students here, so if we print the modified student as well, you can see it is a list of these students. So whenever we are traversing here through the list of each student, we are going to be appending the one that has been changed. As you can see there, this one has been changed. So like we are appending the student that we've changed here. So we changed the student to uppercase as we add it to this empty list here. If you can remember how we were adding items to the list, don't want to go back to that. You can still check it in our last session. So if I change to upper, we have the original list of students, the one that is being printed here. Maybe I can just print it here. So we have two lists here, the list of original list here and the list that has been modified. So as you can see, you are able to do something to affect each and every item in the list. For our case here, it was hospital. So, but on this other end, we've used the list of students, and we can have also the list of numbers. Maybe okay, let me accept that one. So the list of numbers, having numbers from 1 to 10. Maybe you want to do something to each and every item in this list, so you will want to maybe add, subtract, or do something. Like as we did to the list of strings, we can also do it to the list of numbers. So we can say for number in list of numbers, if we print it first, as you can see, this is each and every item. So the for loop will traverse through each and every item in the list and printing the items. Now we want to add, maybe to do some calculation on each and every number. So it will be number, sorry, so it will be number plus equals to 1, and number plus equals to 1. What this means, this is the same as saying, number plus 1. So the other one is the short form. So instead of writing numbers equals to number plus 1, you can just write number plus is equals to 1. So it will be each and every number you add 1, and so in that list, each and every number you are adding 1, and so we still have the same list. Let me run so that you can see. So we still have the same list of 10 numbers, but each and every item has been changed. You can see it starting from 2 here. The first one was 1, so it has been added. Let me add I create a number so that you can see it well. So you can see each and every number has been added 10. You can still multiply, and as you can see, so you can do something also with a list of numbers. So for number in list, so think of it, we'll be having, once we come now to implement this system, we'll have the list of dictionaries. Okay, we'll talk about dictionaries, but it will be each patient. So we'll have patient, and at patient we'll have the information like their names, their phone, and all that, maybe their age. So this will be a dictionary. So and then we have now the list of these dictionaries. So sometimes you want to do something with each and every item with a dictionary, and you will use a for loop to achieve that. So finally we can use range to generate list. You can use range like this. So what range does, range will generate a list of numbers that you indicate here. Like if I indicate 9, it will generate a list of numbers from 0 up to 9 minus 1. So 9 is not inclusive, so it will generate a list of numbers from 0 all the way to 8. So we can always use this when we want to generate a list, a quick list that maybe we can use. This is applicable much in machine learning and data science, whereby you want to work with one of the models, maybe support vector machine, and you want to work with the weights and all that. So you need to generate, when you work with libraries like NumPy, Matplotlib, you are most likely to work with range. So this is how we can use range. So we use range with for loops. So as you can see, for I, which is a number here in range of 10, you print I. Like if generated here the list of 10 numbers, so it will print number from 0 all the way to 10 minus 1. So it will print the numbers from 0 to 9, like that. So you can have also the list of 50 numbers. That will be a big number, as you can see. And now we can also have these numbers in a list. So we'll have list of numbers, list of numbers, which is an empty one, like that. Then every time you are looping through the list, instead of printing, you can add that item in this list. So you can say list of numbers dot append, list of numbers dot append I. So each and every item this loop will run. Instead of printing, we are adding it to this list. So let me print the list after the loop. So, and as you can see, these are the list of 50 numbers. Let me reduce the number maybe to 6 so that we can see it. So we have the list of these numbers. So we can always use range. And apart from using range this way, we can indicate the starting point and the end. Like for this case, instead of 9, we can say we want to start from 4 all the way to maybe 20. So if we start from 4 to 20, it will start. This is inclusive, but this is not inclusive. So it will start all the way from 4 up to 20 minus 1, which is 19. So you can say 4 up to 20. So 4 is the starting point, 20 is the last point, but it will print from 4 all the way to 20 minus 1, which is 19. And as you can see here, that is the list that we get. And finally, you can also include what we call a step. What step means? Let me have 2 for now. Is the numbers that they will be incremented, like as you can see here. Each time we go through this list, we just the numbers were added. One was added to get the next item. But instead of doing that, we can maybe each and every item we are going through the list, maybe want to add 5, want to add 6, like that. So we can define a step. So like this one, whenever you just give without the step, it will assume that this is 1. And whenever you just give range without the start and the step, the start will assume the system will assume that it is 0. So you can always define your list, like if we have 2 there. So as you can see, we have the difference of 2 in each numbers. If we have 3, as you can see, this the difference. So from 4 all the way to 19. If we have 4, so like that. If we have 4, it will be that one. So this is the step, this is the start, and this is the number that you want to generate. We can also generate numbers in a reverse way, like that, but we'll be using here a negative. If we try to run it this way, it won't run, because it is trying to start from 50 and going to 20, which is not possible. So the list will be empty. As you can see, it is empty. But if we use -4, it will be starting from 50 and it will not start this coming backward. It is descending. So that is what you can use, how you can use the for loops to generate the lists together with range function. So you can use the for loop together with range function to generate the list. So in our next session, we are going to see how we can use the the while loop, then we can now combine the two of them to build something. Thank you very much. Let's meet in the next session.